All right, I have the Darce Knight, Kyle Daukaus, back on the show now, who fights next on June the 18th against Roman Dolidze. Kyle, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, always great to talk to you. And what is it with you in these Darce chokes? Another one. This is the sixth of your professional career in February, beating Jamie Pickett. How do these just keep coming about for you?
I don't know. I just think it's the way that my body is structured, I guess. I have kind of long, thin arms. So the head and arm chokes and any guillotine type of choke or anything like that kind of fits in perfectly with my game. So I think it's just kind of gifted for my body type.
Did this fight with Jamie play out how you anticipated it might?
Honestly, yeah, I figured I would get the submission. I just didn't know if it was going to be in the first or it was going to be in the second. I knew he was a tough guy. I knew that he was pretty game. Just a matter of kind of breaking him because I knew that he took the fight on short notice, and we didn't cut a lot of weight to fight at. So I knew that was going to be kind of play a little conditioning favor in his part, but I was ready for whatever.
So for anybody that didn't see it, how did this submission victory, how did it present itself?
Yeah, so just basically out of the half guard position that we were in, I knew that he needed an underhook to kind of create space and get up. So from my perspective, anytime somebody gives me the underhook, I always kind of go under with the right hand, push their arm across, and try to like crunch their head down. So I'll like gable grip my hands behind their neck, crunch their head down, slide to my bicep, and just pretty much just squeeze as if it were like a rear naked choke. I guess I don't think a lot of people know, like that's the kind of detail that I base it off of, is that it's more like a rear naked choke as opposed to just kind of squeezing your arms together and trying to like just cut it off. I usually like increase my squeeze over time.
Okay. And, as I mentioned earlier, this was the sixth Darce choke victory of your professional career, man. Yeah. And it's even been updated on your Tapology page. I think this makes sense where you should probably get some sort of like a Darce Knight, Darce choke kind of tattoo on you somewhere. Is that something that you thought about?
No, definitely not. I mean, I have tattoos, but I don't know if I'm going to do a Batman or a nickname or anything like that. I mean, if it gets good enough, I'll do it. If there's like a nice photo or something like that somebody posts, I'll do it. But as of right now, no.
No, okay. One or two more, man. I think maybe people are going to be expecting that because
it
just seems to be a reoccurring theme in your career. Well, listen, congratulations on the victory. I know Jamie Pickett, that's a tough guy, so that's a nice feather in your cap. What is the significance of this win for yourself, Kyle?
It's just good. It just feels good to be back in the win column. Just happy to be, winning again and getting in there and just getting the experience that I need every single time I go out there. Last year was kind of rough, and starting this year off with a victory was something that, I looked forward to, and I can't wait to see, June 18th, what happens on that date. So, yeah.
A lot to get to here moving forward, including that matchup with Roman Dolidze. But I wanted to ask you real quick, what was your overall thoughts of Kevin Holland's debut at 170? And is that a rematch that the fans can expect to see, or have you just kind of moved on?
No, yeah, I kind of moved on. I think he looked all right. Typical Kevin Holland fashion. He did good. But yeah, I moved on from that. That's kind of something that's in my head. It's not something I dwell on or think about or anything like that. Anytime I'm looking forward to a next fight, as soon as I get an opponent, I'm stuck on them. So I'm solely focused on Roman. If he wants to come back up eventually, then maybe we could do something. But as of right now, in my career, I'm not chasing that or dwelling on that or too concerned about him and what he's doing.
Okay, good enough. Now, I know you're just getting to a venue right now. I believe you're going to see some fights tonight. Who are you going to see? Who are you there with?
Yeah, I'm cornering two of our amateurs. We have to drive like an hour and a half from Philadelphia, so we're in like the middle of Pennsylvania right now, kind of like PA, Dutch County, like where the Amish and stuff are. Two guys, one guy, Kyle. They're both heavyweights. Kale's probably going to be a 205er, but as of right now, he's a heavyweight. And another guy who's very, very good. And I think once he turns pro, he's going to be kind of somebody to watch. His name is Ryan Appleby. He's a division, I think it was a Division 2 or Division 3 wrestler or something. I think he wrestled at Kutztown, but he's a heavyweight, and the guy has cardio of a 125er, and he's as strong as like a 300-pound guy. So it's crazy to see this kid. And in PA, the rule set is kind of hurting his career as of right now of being an amateur, because we wear shin guards as an amateur, and you can't punch to the face on the ground either. So it kind of is just a grappling match on the ground and a striking. It's like a kickboxing fight with grappling as opposed to a full MMA fight. But yeah, this is I think it's his third or fourth fight right now. So yeah, hopefully he's in there, he's locked in, gets the win tonight, and then he can move on. Because in PA they have a rule where if you have 3 or more wins, you can take the shin guards off and punch to the face on the ground. So that's something that I'm sure, he's going to look forward to doing his next fight after he gets this win.
Well, looking forward to hearing more about him moving forward. Now, I wanted to ask you about your brother, Chris. He suffered his second consecutive loss here, this time to Curtis Blades. And it was kind of surprising because I think everyone thought that Curtis was going to be doing what he normally does, wrestling, getting his opponents down to the ground, and he didn't do that. Did that kind of throw your brother off? Like, what was the takeaway from this one?
No, I thought my brother did actually very well in the first round. Obviously it was slow. We didn't want to commit too much because we didn't want to worry about the takedown, which is something that, should always be in the back of your mind when you're fighting a wrestler like Curtis. Going into the second round, I told him in between rounds, I was like, listen, like he might want to stand with you this round as well, because he did the first round, but you always have to be worried about that takedown and just go out there and just do your thing. My brother's the kind of guy that lives by the sword and dies by the sword. So if he wants to go out there and put a good fight on it and do that, he'll do it. But it wasn't the smartest decision that we've made fighting wise. I know the eye poke was a big factor in that as well. That really jacked him up. His eye after the fight was swollen. His whole eye was like completely bloodshot, and it was kind of creepy to look at. But yeah, it's just a learning experience for him. And it's just something that, we can look back on and just kind of learn from. There's a lot of talk of people saying that he should drop to 205 and whatnot, but they don't really know the type of person that my brother is, and they don't really need to be throwing their 2 cents out there. I mean, people can say what they want. Just because he's not, 60 pounds or 280 pounds cutting 265 doesn't mean he's not a heavyweight. This guy's physically strong, and this guy can pack a punch, as everybody sees, and he can knock out, heavyweights. So people just need to stay quiet about, what he needs to do next and just worry about themselves.
Right. I mean, geez, the guys that he's losing to are top of the division. It's not like he's
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So is his spirits high still? Like, is he still feeling good as far as moving forward to his next one?
Yeah. He had a couple of injuries after the fight. His leg was all jacked up from the kicks. And his face was cut up from everything. But as of right now, he's just kind of healing, taking a lot. I mean, I think he needs to take the rest of the year off. If not, worry about coming back at the end of the year, just to let his body heal. Because after the Derek Lewis fight, I think it was a little too soon that we came back and fought. But when they come back with opponents for you, good opponents especially, you can't say no, or else it's you kind of look scared, and that's not something that we want to do. So yeah, I just want him to get healthy. But he's good. He's in good spirits right now. He's back to training finally. So yeah, just back to the grindstone, and then just looking forward to what's next for him as well.
Yeah, for sure. I always enjoy watching him fight. No doubt about that. Yeah, I was looking at your Instagram, getting ready for this interview. And I saw a image that I don't know who did it, but it cracked me up. It was you and your brother as the Step Brothers, right?
Yeah.
Right? So I wanted to ask you, like, if you guys had to pick, who would be Brendan and who would be Dale?
I would be Dale probably, and he would be Brendan, because I would say that, just because the whole thing with them fighting and stuff like that. I act more like Dale than he does, so I'm more immature. So that's another thing too. So
good enough. That was hysterical. Whoever put that together, that was spot on.
The UFC actually did it. It was funny because they showed us a picture. We were at the Apex for his Lewis fight, and one of the kids came up to us and he was like, "We want to do this photo. We want to mimic like the photo of the Step Brothers." And I was like, "All right, cool." I thought they were just going to like take a picture of us in that position and just post it. I had no idea that they were going to, Photoshop us into the other photos of Step Brothers. So it was pretty cool to see, and it was pretty funny. Everybody got a kick out of it. The whole family got a kick out of it as well. So it's good times.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to recap UFC 273 with you real quickly. Alexander Volkanovski in the main event looked amazing and really put it on, the Korean Zombie. What do you think should be next for him? Do you think he should stick around 45, or do you feel like moving up to 55 and potentially challenging for a title makes more sense?
I think based off of the way he's beating these guys at 45, that he should be able to do what he wants. If he wants to go up, he can go up, and if he wants to stay, and I just saw that Cejudo is now in the USADA testing pool again, so that's probably something that they're looking to do. But I'm with Volkanovski, where I don't think Cejudo should be able to just jump back in right at a title fight. He should have to prove himself worthy and then fight. He should fight beforehand and then be able to get the title fight. But yeah, I think he can kind of do what he wants. I would like to see him go up a weight class, but he's small, so it's going to be tough to kind of stand with those bigger guys. Those guys at 55 are big, and they cut from 190, so they're big guys.
Yeah, no doubt about that. How did you score the Sterling Yan fight? Do you think the right guy won?
Sadly, I didn't watch the fight. I didn't watch that fight. I was actually in Disney World for this past weekend. I went with my fiance for a pre-fight kind of getaway for a little bit for the weekend quickly. But I watched the Volkanovski fight, and I watched up until the Mackenzie Dern fight that night, and I went to sleep because it was really late. So sadly, I didn't watch the Chimaev fight or the oh my god, Sterling fight. Sorry, Sterling fight. So yeah, but I heard that it was really back and forth and whatnot, but I don't know. It depends on, I guess it depends on how you score it. And with the whole 10-8 round, I'm a big believer that there should be more 10-8 rounds, but the judging is so messed up in MMA right now that it's something that needs to be fixed. And it's something that I think it's still fresh because MMA is still kind of new to everybody. The whole rule set based off of what the judges base everything off of and the scoring and stuff. I don't think it works very well for MMA. Zach Makovsky, who I used to train with, he was in Bellator, and I think he fights for Brave now. He wrote a good article about the 10-9 round, the 10-9 system, and how we kind of stole it from boxing. And it's on the Fight Site. It's called Fight Site or the Fight Site or something. But that's really cool. Just go check that out. Give it a good read. The guy's really good at writing articles on that stuff. So that was something that I'm a big, I agree a lot with what he had to say for that article.
Okay. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Judging needs to be tweaked in some way, shape, or form. Hopefully, MMA can do something here moving forward. So this next question might be hard to answer if you didn't watch the Hamzat fight with Gilbert Burns. But do you think that Hamzat can beat Colby Covington or a Kamaru Usman? Do you think he's at that point right now?
From the highlights that I saw and everything, I don't think that he can beat Usman right now. He's still fresh in the UFC, but he did prove himself. He just proved he was kind of a tough guy. Burns is very good. He's very talented and everything. But I do think that the style matchup that he had with Burns kind of played in his favor still, even though it was a very back and forth fight. I think that Colby and Usman give him the toughest fights in the division as of right now. And I think guys like Sean Brady pose a good threat to him as well. That kid's physically strong. He's a good wrestler and stuff like that. But I think all of those guys that are good wrestlers as well pose a very big threat. And a lot of it as well is it's rude of, I don't know if it's rude of me to say or whatnot. People will throw the 2 cents out there or whatnot, but I forget, somebody else said it as well, that he really didn't fight anybody big named yet. And Burns was his first big name guy. They gave him kind of nobodies, and now they give him Burns. But I do think that kind of played in his favor because he didn't take too much damage in his last couple fights. The guys weren't, super well rounded or whatnot, but it was a good test, and he proved himself worthy of being in the top 10 as of right now. But I do think that Usman and Colby kind of give him his toughest fights in the division.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's dive right into your matchup with Roman here. You were actually supposed to fight him in November of last year. Why was that initially canceled?
So I flew out to Vegas on the Tuesday of fight week, and I was out there for about 12 hours, I think. He filled in because I was supposed to fight Holland, and then Holland got hurt, and he filled in. But he tested positive for COVID, and then I had to fly home that same day. So that's why it never kind of happened, and then never got rescheduled, I guess, because he was a short notice guy. So they wanted to give me somebody else, and then that was it. Yeah. I got Marquez after that, and then he fell out, and I had Pickett, and now I have him again. So
Yeah. And this guy's Ukrainian. Are you concerned that, you know, there might be a chance where he might not be able to make it come fight night?
I mean, I would hope everything's cool. I don't is he out in Ukraine right now, like training, or I thought he was in Vegas or no?
That I'm not sure. That I'm not sure.
I know I heard there was some drama or something like that going on in Vegas or whatnot, but I'm not really sure. I mean, hopefully he makes the fight. I did just see that there's a lot of middleweight fights on the card. I know Phil Hawes is on there. I fought him, lost to him, and then Marquez is on there too. So hopefully, if he isn't there to show up, that somebody else shows up and I can still fight. But yeah.
Would you have a preference? Like if well, let's just say that you know, a couple of fights fell out and you could fight either Marquez or Hawes. Would it be Hawes that you'd like to get in there and get that revenge over?
I mean, it doesn't matter to me, either one. I think my style matches up very well against Marquez, so I think that would be another fight that I would like to go against. I had asked for that rematch after this Pickett fight, and they gave me Roman anyway. So yeah, I mean, if everything aligns and we can get that matchup going, that's fine with me.
Now, June 18th, is this slated to be at the Apex?
I have no idea, honestly. I wasn't told anything. My contract doesn't say anything specific or anything like that. It still says like to be determined or whatnot. And I'm assuming it's going to be at the Apex because the week before that they're in Singapore, and I don't think they're going to want to go from Singapore to like another state that's, you know, not Vegas. So
yeah, that makes sense. Now, Roman, he's 9-1. He's coming off a UD win in June of last year, so he's had quite a bit of time off. Break this one down for me, Kyle. Like, stylistically, what kind of danger does he present? How do you see this fight going?
Yeah, you know, obviously everybody's dangerous, and within the first, you know, 5 minutes of the fight, everybody's big and strong and hits hard and whatnot. But I believe that I'm, you know, better than him at any aspect of the game. I have to go out there and perform as always. I know that his biggest threats are kind of the wrestling and the body lock from the back and going for leg locks, honestly. His striking isn't very good. I don't believe I believe it's, you know, he's good at what he does and it's very simple and whatnot, but I don't think, you know, he poses as much of a threat as I do striking wise. The grappling is always a good test. You know, I'm a black belt. You know, he's a ADCC champ. I know. He does fish for leg locks a ton, and the good thing about that is that when you go for leg locks, both your hands are kind of occupied, and you don't have anything to block your face. So I did watch the Trevin Giles fight that he fought, and I thought Trevin fought a very, very smart fight against him, and I plan on fighting a very smart, just like you know, Giles did against him as well. I think I had to be quick. I have to be fast. I have to be in and out, and I kind of have to keep my distance, keep my range, and try to just keep it standing as best as I can.
Ultimately, how do you see this fight ending? Do you feel like you're going to get him out of there, or is this one where it might go to the judges?
I plan on getting them out of there as quickly as I can. But, you know, I'm not going to go out there and fish for anything I don't need to. I'm not going to force anything that I don't need to either. If a finish comes, it comes, and you know, I'll be in there for 15 minutes if I have to be. If it has to be a 15-minute war, then so be it. I'll be ready for it. I just hope that, you know, he's ready for it as well.
Where does a win over Roman put you here in the division? Are you getting there close to cracking that top 15, or at least like a fight for someone right around that range?
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, yeah, I would hope so, just based off of the guys that I fought recently. You know, I did fight Holland. That was no contest. That was more of, I think, of a fight in favor of him that they were giving him. But, you know, I went out there and kind of won the round minus the headbutt. And I think, yeah, as soon as I get this win on June 18th, I'll expect a ranked opponent next. But if they don't give me one, then that's fine. I'm just going to keep fighting, and I have to keep winning. I know, regardless of who they put in front of me, I have to go out there and win. And, yeah, that's what I plan on doing.
Awesome, Kyle. Always great talking to you, man. Can't wait to see you back in action. Again, Kyle Daukaus fights next June 18th against Roman Dolidze. Before I let you go, man, I want to give you the floor. As always, tell people where to follow you on social media. If you have anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
Yeah, just everybody at the gym. I'm very thankful for everybody at the gym that I've been training with. Even the amateur guys, you know, that I'm here today cornering, they're still my main training partners. So I'm very thankful for them, and I'm very thankful for my brother for always being in my corner, my coaches as well, and my family. You know, everything's kind of getting better now, and it's on the up and up, and I look forward to seeing what's next. And yeah, you can just follow me on Twitter. It's just Kyle Daukaus, and on Instagram it's just Kyle_Daukaus. So yeah, give me a follow, and if you shoot me a DM or something like that, I'll try to respond as best as I can.